now at the universe.
What is up? My name is Joe, and welcome back. We're talking about Tesla again today. So, as you may have noticed, Tesla's been going on a wild run. For the last 6 to 7 months, it's been up on the back of a series of good news. But it seems like in the last couple of weeks, there hasn't really been any standout new good news, but yet the stock is still breaking to all-time highs. So today we're going to talk about a few reasons why I think that's happening. So the first one is that we're about to come up to the end of Q4, right? In the year they break it up into quarters and they have to do a financial report every quarter. Q4 is coming up. So as that ends, we'll get delivery numbers for Q4, for how many vehicles they've delivered. Now, last quarter, they did 97,000, and the previous quarter before that, it was like 93, 94,000. So they're growing at, 5 to 10%, sort of quarter on quarter. And they have made a year projection. So Elon Musk said, we're going to do, I think, 360, the bottom of the range was 360,000 vehicles. And right now, they need to do 105,000 vehicles this quarter if they're going to reach that expectation. Now, he said last quarter in the financial call with the investors, with the analysts, that they still had high confidence they were going to reach that. So if they're going to reach that 360, it means they have to have a record quarter in deliveries this quarter, right? They're going to go from 97 last quarter all the way up to 105 this quarter, which will be the most they've ever done. So as we get really close to those numbers being released, it's very normal for investors to speculate, right? Whether they think it's going to happen or not. And so often the stock price will rise or it will fall in anticipation of how people think it's going to go, right? It's buying the rumor and selling the news, or selling the rumor and buying the news, right? So they're going to have a different sentiment when they release that news. So that's one of the main reasons, right? We're going to have a record quarter most likely, right? It's looking really strong. As people have been sort of tracking along, it's looking like they went into Q4 with an increased order backlog than previously, which means that there was a bunch of orders that they got in Q3 that they were not able to fulfill, so they were going to have to carry them forward to Q4. Right. So that was a big reason why they had said that they had not, reached that 100,000 number last quarter, which is what that leaked email had said that they were close to do. So if this quarter we break that 100K mark, that's a big psychological moment for the company. And at 105 will be a record quarter. So that's one thing. Okay, let me just have a look. What else I got here? So it'll be an 8% increase if they do that, and I think that they're on track for that. Big thing as well is that they've started doing their solar V3 roof deployments. So they've invented these tiles that are as hard or harder than regular tiles, look great, and actually produce solar electricity. Now, they announced that with the Solar City acquisition, I think it was 3 years ago in 2016. Now, nothing much has come from that, and that's been a lot of the bear thesis, is that, what is this? Is this a complete lie? But they've actually started doing installments this month. So the internal memo is that they're really pushing for, it's a second priority after getting to that yearly production goal. But in terms of the second goal, it's actually doing 100 installments of solar roof tiles this quarter. So that'll be another 0 to 1 moment this company's broken through, right? Nobody's managed to do this before, and so if they're able to do that, that'll be another bullish signal. Overall, just the business has become more solid. So if we're on track for another profitable quarter, then I think we'll be close to having a full year of profitable quarters in a row. If we have a profitable quarter the quarter after, then we'll actually be on track to be included in S&P. So it's a really big deal that the business is becoming more solid, the cash flow profile is becoming stronger, the gross margins are holding strong. And it's just all around, a lot of the bear thesis around us running out of money, or the company just not having a functioning business model is becoming more and more proven out that it's actually not true, that the company is very solid. What else we've got? Every competitor launch has either been delayed, decreased their range estimates, or increased the selling price they're going to have to hit, right? So you've had the Taycan come out with an EPA range, like a standardized range of 201 miles. That's very poor, and that's a $150,000 car. That's the top range of any of the Taycan vehicles. That's just not competitive. The Mach-E does not have competitive range, and it's quite expensive. So you've got these other cars coming out that are just a flop, right? The e-tron, the Audi e-tron, and the Jaguar I-Pace have not been selling, right? Whereas the Model 3 is one of the top-selling vehicles this financial year. It is competing with like the Camrys, the Corollas. It's a very, very solid vehicle, and it's proving it. So on top of that, you've now got a lot of investment banks coming out, and their analysts are actually turning around and saying, well, we were wrong. Tesla's actually really solid, and we're going to put a buy recommendation on this. And so that helps a little bit. If they're buying as well, that's a large bot buying volume. as you know, we've been going up, you're going to have shorts covering their positions because they're losing money, so eventually they have to cover, and so that's what's called a short squeeze. I don't believe that's happening now. I think it's more the recognition that we're seeing the true fundamental value of Tesla come through. It's been in this trading range for 5 years. We've finally broken out of it. I think it's really just, it was overvalued before, and then it just didn't grow for 5 years in terms of the stock price. Whereas the company itself did that. Now they sell in 1 day what they used to sell in 2 weeks, and yet the stock price is still the same. So that just does not make sense to me. So yes, it was slightly overvalued before, but now I do think it is undervalued. And even though it's at the highest price it's ever been, that is not reflective of the true intrinsic underlying asset value. So we're seeing strong delta right now. We've got strong quarters, we've got proven business model. They're showing that they have a very large lead. The stock price has grown to a fair value for the business where it ran up to 5 years ago, and now it has no price growth priced in. So we can see some solid upside here. But I think, there's a summary here that it's above 400 right now because people have had their fears about it, and those fears are slowly being picked away one by one. All of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt has been disproven, and we have a lot of exciting announcements coming up. They've hinted at a full self-driving preview. They've started launching into China. They've got their autonomous taxi service coming that they've been training up the neural net. That's probably a few years out though. We've got the Semi coming. The Cybertruck's been announced and has some decent launch volume in terms of orders. Model Y's coming, starting to start production probably next month. They've released some partnership, some games, some online games in China with Tencent, one of the largest companies there. It's looking really, really solid. So I think, this year they will hit the 360. If they beat, then we can see the stock price rise even further, going towards 500. It will definitely, obviously this is not investment advice, my opinion, it will definitely go through $500 next year. They could do more than 600,000 vehicles next year, right? If they continue to grow at the same rate. I think they're going to announce some next-gen batteries in February that's going to push them. They have a roadmap for a terawatt hour of production. They're currently doing 35 gigawatt hours. So if you've got a 20-30x growth, they're not just going to have 20 to 30 times more factories. They're going to have to improve the battery quality. And you can see that in the way that the pickup truck runs, although they have said that they're going to be able to get that range with this generation battery, but I'm iffy on that. But the Semi is definitely going to need this next gen battery, right? So this I think is why we've seen the delay for the Semi, is because they're working on this battery cell tech, probably the glass electrolyte stuff from John Goodenough. I'll talk about that another time. This video is getting long enough, but just overall, right, they're growing rapidly. This company has rapid year-on-year growth, while their competitors, Ford and GM, these ICE vehicle manufacturers, sales are declining. Autopilot is making large strides. They're releasing over-the-air updates, which allows them to carry forward this deferred revenue. So when you pay for full self-driving, it goes into their receivables, but actually they don't get paid that money right away because it's sort of like a pre-order. And so as they roll out these features, they're able to bring that revenue forward. Sorry, I got a plane flying past. Take a drink. So this is a great time for Tesla. All right, summary. It's a great time for Tesla. They are not just an automaker, so you can't compare them in their forward PE to people like Ford and GM, right? Those companies are not growing. They're paying a large dividend that they can't cut. Their cash is tied up. They're going to need to spend tens of billions on capex to build the factories to compete in EV. Tesla's already done it. They've proven they can get to scale. No one else has yet done that. So they've taken this industry 0 to 1. But they're taking a number of other industries 0 to 1. And I think next video I'll probably talk about the virtual power plant and virtual grid that they're building in South Australia. I'm here in Australia right now and it's about 40 degrees, right? 40 degrees centigrade. So it's incredibly hot. We have so much potential for renewables here, and it's going to be an enormous market, one that Elon has said is going to be as large as the vehicle segment. I think energy could be larger than vehicles, and I'll get into that in another video. So it's not just Ford, it's Ford plus Samsung plus Panasonic plus a software company like Atlassian or Salesforce plus Uber plus Foxconn, which is the company that makes the iPhone. It's the contract company in the factories because it's completely vertically integrated. It's Nvidia, they have their own self-driving chip and more, right? So once you price all of those together, each of them are multi tens of billion-dollar industries, if not getting close to $1 trillion industry over the next 10 years, and they're disrupting all of them at once. So if you can't look at all of that and see that it's still cheap right now, even at above $400, then I don't know what world you're living in, but it's not this one. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. I'm going to be pumping out this content because I have so much to say. I've been studying Tesla for years. I bought shares all the way back, the last couple of years, and especially down at the 170, 180 range it was recently at. I have a lot of interesting predictions around secret parts of Tesla's strategy, around tying in the Boring Company, the Hyperloop, SpaceX even, some interesting stuff around the Cybertruck that I've really been thinking about. So if you're interested in all of that stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell button for the notification, and make sure to shoot this video a like for the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.